I think their business model was really techy and really cool, very futuristic, but obviously there were a lot of flaws. Well, I think this is where they're different from that whole WeWork situation, right? That you were like, yeah, because
Adam Newman didn't do that.
No, hell no. Their share value is lower than their IPO.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Gives me these updates and these news.
Inside deets?
Inside deets, right?
All right, let's go.
Yeah, venture hustles, life is really what you make it. Building up your brand is whatever you create it. Really ain't no limit. You just gotta love it. Working day and night, it's all about the venture hustle. Hey, venture hustles. Time to take it to the next level. Let's go.
All right. Welcome back to Venture Hustles Podcast. This is Saj and Jack.
Mm-hmm.
How is everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Right.
How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing great.
Love to hear that.
Yeah, it's been a great week. Super productive and fantastic way to wrap up the week with a couple of nice VH episodes, and that's what we're kind of doing today.
Yeah.
And today, there's been a lot happening in the world of tech, crypto, stocks, business. The world is exploding with the oil prices, the interest rates going crazy, the oil prices shooting sky high, and there's so many other things happening. So we figured that we talk about some current hot events. We've never really done an episode like this.
Yeah.
Where we're talking about like what, we've done that Adam Newman episode, but it was more about like,
WeWork,
like a trend with WeWork. And,
yeah.
But this is more about like a couple of things that are very notable in this space because we're so much in the tech business entrepreneur space.
And we're thinking about like kind of doing this like every month. So, let us know what you guys think. If you want to hear more things like this, I think a monthly current events episode would be cool.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I for sure. I think I don't know if you've got any. I don't know if you want me to kick it off by just
kick it off. Let's get the ball rolling here.
So one of the things that stood out to me, and I don't know if me and you had an in-depth conversation about this before, but I remember talking to somebody about it because I was a big fan of this company and their mission statement and the way they were revolutionizing the car space, the car industry.
Okay.
And I'm talking about Carvana.
I know Carvana.
You know Carvana?
I know Carvana.
So if you don't know Carvana, you're probably not in a major city because I think that's how they rolled things out, at least when they went public in 2017. But Carvana's business model was really just they wanted to bring a tech aspect to the world of used car or pre-owned car ownership. And, typically before pre-Carvana, we were used to kind of going to a car dealership and seeing what, pre-owned vehicles, even if they're almost new or they had like 5,000 miles, it was still categorized as pre-owned, and there was a method of how you'd go about it, whether you finance it or you buy it cash, you negotiate with the salesman. So what Carvana did, just for a business model perspective, is they completely took out the middleman. They took out the salesman needed. They had a fixed price model where they were already undercutting what was valued on KBB, which is Kelley Blue Book, which is the stamp of, what is the car valued at and what's the standard. They were undercutting KBB, and they were giving the best prices possible. Their vehicles were heavily vetted. They went through a lot of tests. They gave you warranties, which is not normal, in the used car.
Definitely not normal.
Right?
Yeah,
so it was almost like buying a brand new car. Like you were buying a brand new car through Carvana. It was like amazing, right?
Okay.
So basically the reason why I was a big fan of this is because I bought my dad a car through Carvana.
Oh.
So remember when I bought my dad the car?
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you ever use them, and there we go. Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't use their traditional route, right? Their options of like basically what they did was Carvana like blew up because they added a vending machine system.
That I know. Yes, that thing was insanely cool.
So you buy a car through their site, and then you show up to one of their vending machines, which if you haven't seen a Carvana vending machine, it's literally what it sounds like. But it's a giant building, thin glass building. You can see the cars from outside. Like I'm talking 10, 12 stories. And it looks super futuristic.
Yes.
You go up to it, and they give you a giant coin that you put into a slot, and the car that you purchased online comes down the stairs of the vending machine.
Did you use that?
Nope, I did not. They didn't have that, like where I was buying it from.
Okay.
But they delivered the car to my house.
That's cool. That's always a nice service.
You can also test drive it and whatnot. I mean, I think their business model was really techie and really cool, very futuristic, but obviously there were a lot of flaws.
What's happening?
So what's happening with Carvana right now is they are kind of like, they had an earth-shattering quarter when they did their quarterly numbers. Their share prices were going absolutely berserk. They were doing really bad. They were losing a lot of money, and basically, this was happening last week. This article came out last week where they're thinking about filing for bankruptcy and you're kind of going out of business.
They've been around for how long?
They've been around for a couple of years. I would say like 6-7 years.
Okay.
They went public in 2017, so they've been around since they went public for about 5 years now.
So probably been around for like closer to 8.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I got some stats here. It says since January, their shares basically fell 84%, down to $38.
Jesus.
Market cap collapsed over the period of, pretty much like almost $7 billion from $20 billion.
Jesus.
Which was kind of insane.
Some like WeWork numbers.
I mean, I know. In 5 months, $14 billion have been wiped off market cap. But the difference here is we're not talking about unethical business. We're talking about a poor business model that was even more damaged because of what's happening in the world right now in the last 5 months.
Okay.
So a couple of things that happened was used car vehicle rates were going up like crazy during COVID. Peak COVID. Interest rates were going crazy because, it comes with the banks and like the loans that you're getting when you're financing a car. So there are a lot of factors that hurt Carvana. But for me, this was fascinating. And it was interesting to say because I feel like a lot of people will know the brand, but they don't know what the hell's going on behind the scenes. And I think it was fascinating to me for me to like want to talk about it, I think.
So what do you think they're going to do? You think they bounce back? Do you think they file for bankruptcy? You think they're done?
So they made like a $3 or $4 billion move. That's what I read in the articles. To buy a company. They bought a massive like conglomerate of like a used car dealership to offset some of their costs, and they made one of their first biggest acquisitions. It was like a $4 billion acquisition. That was part of the moves that they made since January or February. Okay. So they're very optimistic it's going to help.
I was going to say, I mean, if they did that, you would imagine that they don't think they're dead, right? They don't think that they're done, but this might be one of the last moves, like kind of all the chips on the table kind of thing.
100%, man. I mean, I think so some of the damages we're talking about, just so people understand, in the last 5-6 months is they laid off over 2,500 employees.
That's a lot of people, man.
They had to let a lot of people go. 12% of the workforce was laid off, man.
That's a lot.
And I want to give their high execs a little bit of props here.
Okay.
Because while they were laying people off, and obviously when you're laying people off, like mass layoffs like that, you got to factor in severance pay to make some of that money back or to cover their severance pay and to make sure they're not really hurting these people when they're letting them go and actually giving them severance pay. Yeah. But it's not their fault they're being fired. It's a no fault fire.
Yeah.
The high level execs let go of their the rest of the year's salary. They gave up their salary.
Oh wow. Okay. That's pretty meaningful, honestly.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought, of course, like to a lot of people, they're like, oh, that you're making $1 million or you're making $500,000 in income. It's no big deal. But that's $1 million less that they're making now because they have to make.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're someone saying that, in my opinion, like, would you do that? I mean, give me a break. You know what I mean? But wow, I think that's pretty noteworthy, I'd say.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Respectable.
You don't see that a lot. You don't hear it a lot.
Nah. I mean, that, I think, for me, speaks volumes. It means that they actually care and they understand that, like, it's not really ideal what's happening. Yeah. So hopefully they're doing all that they can, I would imagine, to make it a little bit easier, which is, cool to see, especially in today's world.
Well, I think this is where they're different from that whole WeWork situation, right? That you were like, because
Adam Newman definitely didn't do that.
No, hell no. Hell no. And, if Adam Newman, you're out there listening, take some notes from Carvana execs.
Adam.
Come on.
Adam's and the Hamptons hanging.
Chilling out,
Okay, so wow, that's pretty fascinating. You got anything else for the first current event kind of
I got a couple more.
There's some interesting things happening with Snapchat, with Coinbase.
Let's talk Snapchat. That's definitely on the list.
All right, let's go. Let's run it.
Do you see what's happening?
A little bit. I would love for you to speak more on it first.
Snapchat in a nutshell over the last week. Again, I don't know when exactly this episode is going to air, right? We're hoping it airs within the next 2 to 3 weeks, but some of this information might be old. But as we're filming this, in the last week or so, we're in the end of May right now.
Okay.
Snapchat's shares, their market value has fallen over 77%.
That's kind of drastic.
I mean, to put it into perspective, their share value is lower than their IPO.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not good
man.
at all.
That's not good.
So that, for me, when I see these things, that's you're hurting. So
you
what
buying?
the hell's
Are you
going?
Buying?
No. No. That is a bad investment for me, friend. Snapchat has never been a good investment. I know so many people that bought Snap stocks. It's insane.
Really?
Dude, I know the amount of people that I know.
It's kind of like Doge. Everyone bought Doge.
I never once was a believer in Snaps. Think about it. The minute I started doubting it, IG, Twitter started ripping its IP because they were never fully protected. And they started adapting what Snapchat did. Snapchat was not valuable in that regard anymore. So one thing to note, though, is other tech companies like Apple, some of the big titans, took a massive tumbles when Snapchat was Evan Spiegel, the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
He went and did a quarterly update of holy shit, man, guys, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good right now. That was the vibes. And the minute he did that, Apple, Microsoft, every other major big titan, they all took major hits in terms of the market started making connections that they were all going to be tied together because of the broader advertising market.
Okay.
So they were all categorizing and lumping them up together.
From a paid ad standpoint?
Yeah. That's how they make money, right?
Yes.
That's the only way they make money.
I see what you're saying.
So other than the data information they sell that we don't know about, but
right. That's why you said that, because you don't know.
Yeah. But the reality is the broader advertising market was what was getting dragged through the mud because of Snapchat's reveals.
You think they knew that was going to happen?
I don't think it was a shock, or it didn't come as a surprise to anybody that Snapchat's numbers were dog shit.
No. I'm saying, do you think Snapchat knew when they were making this announcement it was going to affect all the other people?
It's their fiduciary duty to disclose this information to the board. So they have to announce that. It's not a tactical thing. If your numbers are shit, your numbers are shit. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
But all these companies have a fiduciary duty to their board.
Yep.
But I could tell you that why do you think, let me ask you this. Why do you think Snapchat's numbers were so bad? Because all the kids now, the kids in high school now, right? Or even college, they're using Snapchat every day.
Yeah.
A lot of them
I think maybe, the innovation of different platforms like TikTok have hurt them tremendously. And I think, at least I know in my mind, Snapchat hasn't really come out with any significant updates in quite a bit.
But the business model is different from TikTok.
Yes.
And their tech is different from TikTok.
Yeah.
But the reality is we're not talking about users dropping. We're talking about ad revenue. And that's their number one way of making money.
Yeah.
So the competition, 100%. It's crazy that it dragged these other companies down, but they're all tied together. I remember in one of the past episodes we said that YouTube said it had one of its lowest quarters ever because of ad revenue, because there's so much competition in the digital ad space now.
It's crazy. So now, if I'm Snapchat, right, what are we doing, right? So maybe they start to think about Web3.
Maybe they start thinking about Web3, but I think also you gotta get out of that horrible. You gotta start figuring out how to maximize your user base and implement, get some algorithm geniuses in there. Get some data analysts that can blow it up. Use what you already have, come up with something that would be a very new user friendly.
They got to change something up. Like I said, I haven't seen a significant up. I think in my mind, one of the last significant updates was when they added that feed of all those the ads, pretty much all the stories and stuff. If you go on Snapchat, the homepage where you have all your buddies or whatever, below that. But then also in my mind, I don't even watch them anymore because the ads are legitimately so annoying. You can't even get through a video for more than 5 seconds of seeing an ad. It's I forgot what I just watched because there's so many ads.
Dude, it sucks. I've used Snapchat since the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a cool platform, but they got ripped, and other platforms started using some of their main features, and they were never able to keep up and stay ahead of the competition. They had a good run, but the reality is if they don't innovate and change, this is not going to be the first time they're going to have a new low.
We will see. We will see.
All right. So
what's next?
What's next? I think we want to talk about a little bit about Daddy Elon.
You said that, not me. So go
hey,
ahead.
Man, the whole world's saying that right now.
No, you said that.
You
said that. You said that.
Emil's losing it back there.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
No. Let's talk about Elon. I like Elon.
Elon. So I got some notes here. Right now, the latest the latest thing that popped up at my newsfeed at the top of the morning yesterday.
That he's getting investigated?
That the SEC is now looking into the purchase of the Twitter stake that he first bought. So I got some timelines here. Do you want to take a look? Actually,
let's take a little
better off.
Peek-see.
So just to kind of recap everybody on what went down, right? Because this is a platform that I pay for that gives me these updates and these news.
Inside deets?
Inside deets, right?
All right, let's go.
April 4th, Elon discloses over 9% stake in Twitter.
Yes.
April 5th, Twitter says Elon Musk will join the company's board. Then the market rises over 9%.
Yep.
April 10th, Elon says he will not join the Twitter board. Falls 3.3%.
Yep. He always be fucking with shit, honestly, this guy. He really be fucking
But
with
listen
shit.
to this trend. This is lengthy, right? April 14th, and I just want everybody to understand the sequence of events that happened, right? Why it's such a big deal, right? Why the SEC is looking into it right now. April 14th, Musk offers $54.20 a share at 38% premium to what was previous.
That was a big deal.
Share prices went up 6% there. As soon as they announced that, April 14th, again, we're talking about days here, not weeks, days. So heavy day manipulation. April 15th, Twitter adopts the poison pill. So everybody, if you're not familiar with the poison pill, this was Twitter's defense mechanism to stop market manipulation or their share, basically like a hostile takeover. And they call in the industry they call it quote unquote the poison pill. If you don't know what it is, just look it up.
Okay.
But they adopted the poison pill system to protect the company from gains, 1.4%. So that's where it went up a little bit, not crazy.
Yeah.
Then April 21st, Elon Musk lines up $46.5 billion in financing.
He went crazy on that. Like he got loans from like a lot.
He went
of places.
insane, right?
Yeah.
This boosted it by 2.6% when this happened. April 25th, Twitter board accepts Musk's offer. Right?
After lots of speculation.
7% rise when this happened. Again, we're talking about days, 2-3 days here, and it happened really fast. We were talking about it every day when this was happening.
Yeah.
April 29th, Musk sells Tesla shares worth over $8 billion. Basically bid to do a financial takeover.
Yeah.
Then we've got May 2nd, Elon Musk seeks to get more external investors. The share prices start falling a little bit.
Do you know who was a major investor in that?
No.
Binance. 500 million.
Yeah.
Crazy.
This is probably in the notes here. And then May 5th, Elon Musk discloses that $7.14 billion in funding, right? The share prices again went up 4.4%. Then May 11th, Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey says he will not return as
to
CEO.
the board or in the CEO. Okay.
Yep. It falls 6% right there.
Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe he's focused on block.
I mean, it was just too coincidental. There was just so many things happening, and for this announcement to come out right on this time, that's why this is a vital piece of information.
Okay.
Then May 13th, I'm almost done here. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
May 13th, Musk says Twitter deal on hold pending review. This is the latest thing that's been happening. Prices drop 11%.
Okay.
11%. Then the next update here is May 25th. Twitter investors vote against re-electing Elon.
2.
Rises 6%. So Elon pledges more equity to fund the Twitter deal, 27% below the previous offer. But the reality is this has been kind of like a shit show, right? And then what is it? May 26th. I'm almost done. May 26th. Elon, Musk sued. He was sued by the Twitter investors. There were a couple of investors that sued him. Stock rised about 6%. 27th, which is the latest update here. SEC is looking into Musk's Twitter stake. There's been no significant change on this particular thing, but definitely hasn't been like a net loss. But
also one thing that was not mentioned in your notes is that Elon implemented a little a clause in there that whoever pulls out of the deal has to pay the other guy $1 billion.
Yeah, but I don't think it was a this was a chart indicator of like what was the major news or the headline and what caused the markets to go up and down.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean that was super crazy. We talked about that. That was so insane.
I know.
Some gangster moves by Daddy Elon.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
But what I could tell you is
so what do we think about all this?
I think it's a shit show. I think he was being genuine with what his intentions were, but obviously there are a lot more players involved and a lot more things. I think Elon thinks he's above. Don't get me wrong, man. I am the biggest Elon Musk fan. I love this man's vision and drive and what he wants to do as an overall footprint,
like for the world,
world. And but I think that a lot of times he definitely plays the God role way too hard. And he knows, he believes it, and he plays knowing that he is above a lot of it. And when I say this, I mean it. He is above a lot of the financial law, and he gets away with this shit. So now if the SEC is looking into it, this is great headlines today, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Mr. Elon Musk is probably the most powerful person on this planet right now. So this is what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, based on everything you just read, what's super interesting is Jack leaving Twitter because Twitter was his baby.
I know, but he wasn't a great CEO. He's never done anything innovative for Twitter. Twitter has been insanely. I mean, every single thing that Elon has said about Twitter is completely true. Completely riddled with bots, riddled with spam.
It is
riddled with fake shit that they never acted on. Completely outdated algorithm. Nothing innovative has happened to Twitter in over a decade, man.
I like Jack Dorsey though, honestly.
I like Jack Dorsey for what he came up with, for the concept.
Yeah,
for the
but
original.
he's also doing so much cool stuff, like with.
Well, I'm only talking about Twitter. I'm not talking about him as a person. Absolutely not.
Well, no, but him as like so much has stemmed from Twitter, like from him. I think like he's got Block, he's got the Lightning Network, which is like one of the leading like.
I think that's also
SDKs.
why like when you can't put too much all of your energy into one thing that is a massive entity.
Yeah,
and you start
this is
losing
true.
focus. You start hurting that brand and that business. And that's exactly what happened to Twitter for the last 3 to 4 years, man. Like. Do you disagree?
No, I don't. I mean, the reality is there hasn't really been too much significant change on Twitter. Although I saw something called a super follow. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's the super follow, and then they got Twitter Blue and all kinds of.
What's super follow?
I'm not too familiar.
Honestly, I saw it the other day, literally like yesterday for the first time. It might be a bot for this, but so it's like a subscription to a particular person to get notifications and like some other stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. I mean, I don't know who implemented that, but that smells like Elon, I think, because he was like one of the main
he
his
can't
main
implement
things.
anything right now.
Okay, so it wasn't that.
Was
I'm totally wrong.
There's no way.
But
the deal didn't even go through.
It like that was one of his main points, where it's like Twitter needs to get paid. Yeah. And they're not really doing much about that. They have paid ads and stuff, but everyone has that.
Wasn't like your typical acquisition. This wasn't your typical buyout. There's a lot of gray area here, and it's weird that somebody like Elon and the team that he has in place wasn't able to do a smooth takeover on this. So it's very, very interesting to see. I mean, I'm watching this. I get obsessed with this kind of shit. So like,
yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. I mean, who knows what will happen? What are your predictions?
Like I said, I don't think the SEC thing's going to matter too much. I think this is more of like a put the pressure on Elon to kind of do things right.
Get his shit together?
Yeah, get his shit together.
Okay.
But I think that his intentions of buying Twitter, I mean, if he does everything right with Twitter, he's going to be even more powerful. And like, I don't think he's going to use it for the bad thing. He doesn't need any more money. He knows that.
Yeah. I mean, how much more can you get?
The man has so much power. It's crazy. But I think moving on. If we want to, like, one of the last things I got on mind, unless we want to cover anything else that you have, is the crypto world. I'm talking about Magic Eden. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
So Magic Eden, if you're not familiar with what it is basically, so in the NFT world, OpenSea is the market dominator.
By a mile.
Has the monopoly in the Ethereum, honestly, in any blockchain for for a secondary marketplace. So secondary marketplace, basically the eBay where people buy and trade their NFTs that they already have. Very recently, Magic Eden topped the 24-hour trading volume by a landslide and beat OpenSea. Now, again, I want to make a disclaimer here.
Yeah, okay.
It's not the total number of holders. The total number of people that use OpenSea or Magic Eden is higher. It's not the total number traded in a whole year. It is just a 24-hour period.
So legitimately, the amount of volume and money that Eden, I'm not going to say generated, but that was flowing through Eden, topped OpenSea for 24 hours.
Yeah, which is very notable because Eden primarily operates in the Solana blockchain. So the Solana, it was an indicator that the Solana NFTs were blowing up. And very recently, we've seen OpenSea adopt Solana. It was a completely different blockchain network. And
yes, sir.
What do you think about this?
Honestly, I kind of saw this coming from a mile away. When you get into certain spaces and speak with people, I saw this coming for like a couple weeks. There's people just talking about it, talking about nothing was happening. And then now here we are. What do I think about it? I think that OpenSea will eventually, I don't really think this means much unless over the next 2 to 4 weeks, it continues. Because at the end of the day, I'm not sure how much pull Solana will have long term, just because of the way it's structured.
Yeah.
That's really the biggest thing. And I think once Ethereum 2.0 comes out, and I actually was reading a little bit of like their white paper that the founder posted about Ethereum 2.0 and some of the changes that they were making. I'm not sure where a platform or a blockchain like Solana fits, because it's not decentralized. And for me, like a lot of times people like Solana because they say, oh, it doesn't have any gas. It's like, okay. It's like, okay, like what else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's I
that's
guess
a good
my
take, man.
opinion.
I got no rebuttals for you, honestly. You're on point with that. That's a really good take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is different. It is cool. A lot, like some of the art on Solana is different. Like it's just another unique platform. But what was shocking to me was Magic Eden versus Solana art. .io.
So yeah,
that was surprising.
Well, Magic Eden has been okay. So let me tell you this. I think SolanaArt.io, which by the way, if you don't know what that is,
another secondary market,
just primarily for Solana, and that used to be the OpenSea of Solana, by the way.
Exactly.
Until this happened with Magic Eden. But what I could tell you is, this is kind of crazy to me because Magic Eden's UI was phenomenal compared to Solana. So this project
Solana
that I invested, Solana Art, the project that I invested in a while ago, this Sharks project, you remember?
You don't have those still, right? What?
I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this. I am not ready to talk about this yet.
All right.
It's a very sour subject, painful. But you want to talk about your Evolved Apes?
Whoa. You're Evolved Apes?
Right,
you're Evolved Apes too.
Yeah.
See, now everyone's going to go and look up at Evolved Apes.
Well, listen.
Because of you. Go ahead.
They launched in Solana Art, and then they migrated to Magic Eden. I didn't think anything of it back then. But then when they migrated to Magic Eden and I checked out their platform, I was like, holy shit, this is how it needs to be.
Are they doing well?
What? The project?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
I'm just using this as an example.
Okay.
But that might have been an indicator that maybe things were going to pop off in Magic Eden because they were pretty good.
Yeah, they were for a while.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's really cool. My take on this is I think there will be many, many more to come. If you're an innovator and you're a creator and you're somebody that's like, we talk about this all the time, when you're like, you have an idea where you feel like you can create something that doesn't exist right now, or it exists but you have another avenue for it, do it. It's never too late.
Now's the time.
There's going to be one for Cardano next. There's gonna be another secondary market.
I see so many memes and shit about Cardano. It could
be 5 years from now, but it could be the difference maker. Whether you're starting it now, building a $1 billion brand right now, and reaping the benefits 5 years from now. But what I can say for a fact is what we're seeing is that this is not shocking. This entire world of crypto and blockchain it's in its infancy right now, and there'll be more of these. And I think this is super cool to see.
I mean, for sure, it's super cool to see, and obviously play at your own risk here, with everything that has to do with blockchain and crypto. But the world is for sure changing. Obviously, if we're going through Carvana, we're going through Snapchat now. With crypto, we will see what happens. I'm interested to see which one of like the titans, adopt crypto.
Should we make some predictions and look back at this someday?
Yeah, we can make some predictions.
I think it'll be Facebook, Meta.
I think that makes the most sense from what we know, but I wouldn't be surprised if Apple beats them to it. Apple's good at kind of doing shit behind the scenes, and then coming out, it's like, whoa, what's that?
Apple is too anal with their rules, and they're too uptight. And they're not cool and hip enough. That's what I think. Listen, man, I'm the biggest Apple fanboy you'll ever meet. I have every Apple product you can think of.
Yeah.
But we see this on the back end because we build Apple products.
Yeah.
And
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah. But I think from a tech standpoint, but then again, I don't know, because
you have to be you cannot be afraid of the regulations, the SEC, and all of the other garbage that comes with it.
Yeah.
Or all of the hurdles. Sorry, I shouldn't say garbage because they exist for a reason. Even though I feel differently about different situations, but the hurdles that come with it, there's no way, like the amount of legal red tape that they would have to jump over to make that a reality. I think that's crazy. I like to think that. You might be right, but so you're saying Apple?
I don't know. I think Apple isn't being thought about, and I'm saying that Apple should be thought about.
Okay.
But I think ultimately I might have to agree with you, because Facebook or Meta has taken the VR world very, 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 very seriously, the whole metaverse. I mean, from what I know and read up on and listened to, they've been working on their Oculus V3. Whatever it is, for legitimately years. And I think from what we've seen, they're miles ahead of anyone else with their gloves, with their goggles, So I would think I would have to support you in the Facebook or Meta prediction.
Okay. All right.
But you never know, because when we talk about companies like Snapchat or Coinbase's NFT platform, which seems took an absolute dump.
That did horrible, by the way.
You never.
And
desperate
also
Crypto.com.
Crypto.com. Now that we're talking about that, Crypto.com's the crypto launch platform. Did not do well either.
What I'm getting at is desperate times call for desperate measures. So you never know what a company like Snapchat would do. I saw some cool stuff on Coinbase NFT where, I'm not sure if the CEO, but definitely one of their C-level executives that hold shares went all in and purchased a stupid amount of shares.
Shit. Okay.
And I seen some commenters or some people are wow, I like that, because that shows that he's all in and that he believes in what they're doing, which is cool to see. But again, who knows? We're in the wild west right now. You never know. I've been seeing some really cool news in Africa in regards to crypto. A lot of major banks adopting crypto.
Yeah.
Obviously El Salvador has been their president's a gangsta.
He lost so much money in this.
Yeah, but he still is a savage.
I read something $20 billion got wiped off of their holdings, man. That's rough to read, because when you see them doing things like that and putting so much belief into that space, it's hard to see. It came from good intentions.
It'll be back though, Yeah. It'll be back. I firmly believe that, over the long haul. So we will see. But
we're getting close to the end here, and I think I want to ask the listeners and everybody else that's tuned in right now, and the viewers, if you guys liked this type of episode,
yeah,
where
for
we're
sure,
covering some of the hottest, newest, most important like things at least that are notable to us, and of course, y'all are probably more tuned into the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trials than this. But
are we gonna start talking about that now?
No.
Okay,
I was just making a joke about it.
Free my boy Johnny.
Emil said, "Free my boy Johnny."
But yeah, I mean, if you guys liked it, definitely let us know. Definitely feel free to speculate on our thoughts and share your opinions in the comments. I know, like, we'll definitely be looking at them, and we'll be commenting, and we'll definitely can talk about them in the next EP. But as always, we appreciate y'all, anyone that's listening, viewing, and please like, comment, subscribe. We notice, we very much so appreciate it. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google, anywhere.
TikTok,
IG. So
we're not on Twitter.
But
you can find me and Jack on Twitter.
You can find us on Twitter, and we should appreciate you guys, and hope you guys hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, or enjoy your day if you listen to this in the morning. So
yeah, man.
Until next time.
Good night.
Venture hustles, this is venture hustles. Turn nothing to something, start a business, get it jumping. Ay, told myself that I would make it, and I'm never quitting. Staying motivated, and I started with a vision. Yeah.